Good morning, Flosstube. Welcome back on this Sunday, the 1st of June, the start of meteorological summer. He says, looking out the window at grey clouds, and there's been rain overnight. Well, it is Scotland. This is a Scottish summer. Hello, good morning. I hope you're all well this morning. Thank you for tuning in, returning back to spend a wee bit of time with me. To those of you who are my returning subscribers, thank you so much. It means a lot to me that you keep coming back and watching and sharing interests and showing interest in what I'm talking about and what I'm sharing with you. Thank you for all your comments, as always. It is great fun reading through them. I love that engagement there. To those of you who are new to the channel, who have maybe just stumbled across me one way or another, thank you so much for coming along. I hope you enjoy the ride. There's been a few new subscribers, so thank you for that. My numbers are ticking up a wee bit, which is nice. Not all about the numbers. Said no one ever. I'm a numbers boy, I love numbers. My degree was in maths, and I just love working with numbers. The first of no doubt many digressions. So to new people who have subscribed, thank you so much. To anybody who has stumbled across through the joys of the YouTube algorithm, I don't know how that algorithm works. I would love to know what lies behind there. Anyway, I hope you enjoy what I'm sharing with you. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you are enjoying my content. Any comments, please drop them below. And if you want to see some more, please think about hitting the subscribe button and ringing that bell. You'll get notified then when I post, which I'm doing on a weekly basis on a Sunday. My name is Stuart, as I said before. I'm in the central belt of Scotland. You'll probably have gathered I'm Scottish. I'm not quite sure how that comes over, but people seem to have twigged, apart from the fact I live in Scotland. Various ways of getting in touch with me if you would like to. Always in the comments below, please drop a comment. Let me know what you're working on while you're watching me. Stitching, it could be any crafting actually, but I know some people have been talking to me about crochet and knitting, which is always interesting to hear because those are both things I enjoy as well. What else is there? Instagram, you'll find me on there under Stuart's and Stitches. I post there most days, generally with my temperature stitching, and at the moment also for the whip into shape, which we'll talk about, which for me is Saga. And if I remember at the end of the day, sometimes I will post what else I have been working on that day. And you also find me on email at stuartsandstitches@gmail.com. Both these links will be in the notes below. So what are we going to talk about today? So we're going to have a look at some whips. I'm busy looking down my list, my kind of little agenda that I have. Whips, FFOs, don't get excited, these are not new FFOs, these are FFOs from a couple of years ago. Just because we're on the 1st of June, it's a changeover downstairs, I thought I'd show you what I'm changing from and changing to. And well, we'll have a look at some charts that I have that are sitting in the shelves of surprises. I remember I talked about showing some charts which seem to gather some interest, so we'll have a wee look at some of those. There's an amazing piece of Stitchy kindness to show you. There's a finished object. One of my viewers asked, she has just started this piece and asked if I would re-show mine, so it'll be flashing before the screen for you. A little bit of plans, whatever they might be, and I think that'll probably do us for the day. I think there's enough there to keep us entertained. So let's talk about whips first. As always, we'll start with temperature stitching. Quick resume of what that is. For those of you who are familiar, go and grab a sip of tea or whatever you're quaffing at the moment. My temperature stitching involves, I have picked 10 projects, number them 0 to 9. Whatever BBC weather app tells me that day is a high temperature determines what I'm stitching. If the temperature is in double digits, I take the second digit, so if it's 23, God forbid, that would be warm. Anyway, if it's 23, 3 would tell me what piece I'm stitching that day. If it's single digits, we're fine, no problem with it. If we're into the winter and we get down to the minuses, ignore the negative sign, and we'll just take the absolute value of that number. So, we had varied temperatures today. It's a wee bit cooler looking down my diary, but we've got a good variety of stitching though, which is good. So, first off, we'll start with last Sunday was Pretty. It was the high temperature then was 13. And Pretty by Nene Thomas, an entire chart from Haid, was the piece of choice that day. And let me just see, I have her on Pattern Keeper, he says. Oh, aye, there it is. So this will look like that. And I am up there somewhere. Oh, I didn't hear that. I must have given a nice little growl. I haven't breakfasted yet. A bit early for breakfast. And progress on this, we are at, what are we at? 14,124 stitches out of 270,000, just a wee amount. And it's 5.23% complete. And it lives in one of my bags. I always like showing off my bags. If I can't plug myself, who can I plug? Right. Nobody ever read the Beano? Bass Street Kids plug. That's what something went through my head there. Strange place, my mind. Right, here's where we are, and of course I was working down there in this diagonal, coming up in this kind of lighter shade of the 50 Shades of Grey that exists in this piece. So that's now been out 10 times. Come back here, let's see if we can get a bit more light on you. Aye, there we go. The light's not so great this morning, but you can still see what's going on there, so that's fine. This is a 10 times out now, so it's had its fair crack of the whip. So that will now go back into the normal pile of whips to be pulled at some point as takes my fancy. Or whatever crazy scheme I come up with next for rotating whips. I really enjoyed this stuff. This is about 10 times. It's had over about 1,000 stitches, which is the most stitches it's had in about 4 or 5 years, I fear. Because I got so pissed off with the grey. The lots of greys. Oh, I've made good progress. I'm very happy. So, that's that one. So that can now go away in the cupboard. It's been sitting on the side since last Sunday, so I thought, well, that's done, that can go away now, but I couldn't put it away till I showed you, of course. So, that will go away. Right, next up was Cardinal Kin. It's got another 2 days to go yet. What did that get? Pretty got 102 stitches. Cardinal Kin lives in this. Oh, that's not Cardinal Kin. That's something else to be showing you. This is Cardinal Kin. And one of my favourite bags, this lovely Japanese peacock fabric in the back. I love this one. I'm struggling to find some more of that fabric. Anybody knows in the UK where I can get that? Let me know. So, my Cardinal Kin is assigned to number 2, so Monday was temperature 12. It's a Plum Street sampler piece. Another one of Paulette's lovely, lovely designs. I have threads for both colourways, and both versions will fit in the massive piece of fabric I have picked for this. What did I pick for this? West Greenloft Yarns, and it is a 32 count. Yep, 32 count chalk, the October Club 2024. Hey, did I start that last November? I can't remember now. Anyway, I'm kind of puzzled now as to when I did actually start this, but hey ho, there's a dangling thread because I've parked it ready for the next time it comes up. But let me show you where we are. They're really dinky, these pieces, but they're lovely. I still love this wee chappy at the bottom. This red card, I think, is gorgeous. So we're starting as lady wife. As one said, that's no lady, that's my wife. Slap. So that's coming on. That's been using the overdyed threads that are called for. With I think there's a couple of DMCs in there as well. So what are the overdyes? It's Weeks Dye Works and Classic Colour Works. Now there's no General Arts in there. And that's the tangle that is there. So pleased how that's coming along. It's always nice when that one pops up to be worked on. Put all that back in its little bag. So that can go there. So next up was Tom of Finland, aka Nutty Stitching. Right. So Tom of Finland was a Nordic country homoerotic artist and a company in Australia called Perler, who are no longer in business, charted and kitted up one of his series of artwork for cross stitch, and with some of the proceeds going to charity. And this was many years ago. I'm talking about 10 years. Probably about 10, 11 years ago now. Carl obviously spotted these and brought them to my attention. He said, "You're going to have to stitch these." And I looked at them, I thought, oh, they're grand designs, but they're boring colour palettes. It's all greys and whites, and as you will see. So that's why I've only finished one, and I'm halfway through a second, and there's 5. They grow increasingly more, what's the word I would like to use, interesting as they progress through the series, as the acquaintance of the shipwrecked sailor and the resident of the desert island get to know each other. Hence, there is a needle minder in play here, just to not trigger the YouTube censors, for want of a better term. It's actually good fun. It's nice when this comes out, because I'm only doing about 100 a time on that, so I don't get bored. That's the whole idea, is temperature stitching as well. Anyway, enough of the ramble. Here's what it's looking like now, and I was filling in the Desert Island Boy's arm. This is a sailor, and this is just this muscle bicep coming into play here. So it's coming on not bad at all. I'm really pleased. The actual colour palette, while I think it's a kind of boring palette, it works really well. I mean, the detail is really good, isn't it? So that was that one. And that got a bang on 100. I must have decided, okay, I've done 100, I'm done. We're good now. Where's that going to go? I'll just sit there, and it'll be in its proper place in a wee while. Wednesday was Dimensions. Excuse me a second, I should bend down and grab that. So this is Fall Fairy, a very well known Dimensions kit. Where does it? Looks like that. I'm up. No, that side. I'm up there somewhere. I'm working away on this. And I'm enjoying this one actually. It's really good. It's been a while since it was out as well. Now it's out and been worked on. It's good. It's called for again today, and I think this is probably its last call. Which means 5 has gone through the temperature for 5 has gone through 2 iterations now, which is the most so far. Well, I'm sure I've miscounted some point during the year, because I'm sure we've done more than. I think I need to count out the days in the year and then count up my temperature. I know I've missed 2 or 3 days of temperature stitching, for example. I didn't do it yesterday because I got absorbed in something else, which we'll talk about. But anyway, so after today, this will be due to go out and a new piece brought in, unless I exercise my own discretion and decide, no, I can stay for another 10 days. We shall see. Anyway, let's have a look. So, here we are. I'll be working over here, filling it up kind of in this area over here. All these lovely blues, and there's a kind of yellows going on there or something or other. There's the picture. Let's see what that yellow what looks like a daisy to me is. Well, it is actually a kind of flower. No, it's a leaf caught in the sunshine, or caught in her magic shining stuff. Might look at the picture. Just need some backstitch around that leaf there. And that'll bring that to life one day. Well, it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's a fun stitch, and I've accomplished a lot in this period, because I think I was only up to about there, maybe, if that. So that's been good progress. Happy days. So I say that's due today, later on at some point. If I can find a dry spell, the first thing I'll be doing is going out for a walk along the path, get my steps in. Got to get the steps in. Right, so that got 124 half stitches on Wednesday, the high was 15. Right, what was next? Next was a relative newcomer to the world of my temperature stitching. This is only its second outing. It replaced Jacob's AKGIT as the piece for number 7. And Thursday we had a higher temperature of 17. And this is a Teresa Wentzler piece called, it's one of the miniatures called Above the Clouds, and bears a startling resemblance to the big piece, The Castle, which I also have as a whip hiding away. Aye, there we go. And down here That was my start. And alright, so this is being stitched to a small piece of fabric. It's a fat 8, no, a fat 8th, and it's from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, one of my favourite hand dyers. It's called Ceridwen, and it's 28 count Monaco. And let me just organise this to show you. Here's where we are. Oh, I was looking for it. I couldn't even see it myself. I think if I showed the right side of that, I'm sure I picked the right side. We're over here, it's just because the colours are quite light just now. There's nothing to kind of make them stand out yet. Bring it in a wee bit. There you go. Oh, there you go. You see it now. As always, tons and tons of blends. But it'll be lovely in this piece of fabric. It'll fit quite nicely on it as well. I always liked Stephanie's fabrics. I used to be in a Fabric of the Month club, which was always a joy when that popped through the door. For those of you who are interested in how organising the threads for Teresa Wensler, there are many, many ways, but because you know what our blends are like, that's the challenge. How do you organise all that? So these are the basic colours, typical Teresa Wensler palette. And then, when I originally set this up, I had originally used my trusty old cereal box. What was this, Shreddies or something? Oh, it has that kind of look about it. Yes, they're good if you're needing to go and can't. They really do work. Anyway, sorry, digression. So what I do now is, you'll see there, I've changed that to these are the blended symbols that I've used so far with leftovers. And that's the blends there. So I'll just go there and see if there's any leftover from the last time that symbol came up. And if not, I'll just create the blend again. Kind of be a good old cereal box and some punch holes, can you? Right, so let's put that one away. Another one of my bags. Nice vinyl fronted one, I like that one. Right, what did that get? I got 129 stitches on Thursday. And then Friday, this came out for the last time. It has had its 10 days of glory. And this is a story keep from Heaven and Earth Designs. Let's have a look. Tum-ty-tum-ty-tum. So this is artwork by Lisa Parker. A story keep called What Lies Within. Kim, the Spartan Stitcher, is also stitching this just now. She's coming from the top down, having done all the black. I'm just working parking on this, so I'm just building up from the bottom. It has 85 colours. Progress so far is... Where are we? 21,810 stitches out of 93,800. And we're at 23.25% complete. And it will look like... Oh no, it won't rotate. Oh, because I've got my rotate lock on. I can't even bother to find it to see where to take my rotate lock off. So, there we go. And I've just reached kind of about there, as you will see. So, I achieved what I wanted to in this. I got a row finish, which is what I wanted. So it got more in its 10 days actually. It got, I think, another couple just to get that row finish. I mentioned that last week. So I got my row finish and I was very pleased. It's part threads by the bucket load, as you would expect. Right, here we go. So, there we are. So I finished creeping along here. I finished along here, basically at the top of that step. Like I keep saying, that I love the detail, and I see an 18 count. It's just bigger. That's all. You still get the incredible detail. It's not pixelated, and I'm really enjoying it. So much so that it is going away. I love the light playing in the steps. I love that tracery in the pedestal, and I'm looking forward to getting to the cat, which is imminent. So that's 18 count using CXC threads. And the coverage is tremendous because it's all dark on white, and I defy you to see through to the fabric underneath. Give you a laugh, there's the back. A wee bit like a rug. You can see a bit of the pattern there, you can see what's going on. So I'm very happy how that came along. So that will now go away for a while until I get an itch to work in it again. That started off life as one of my experiments on, let's have a try an 18 count. I've never done a full coverage in 18 count before because I'd seen some people's and they looked tremendous. I thought, oh, I want a piece of that action. So I got started, and there was a wee scrap at the side of it. So Kim, the Spartan Stitcher, whom I mentioned, had started a sal to use up these skinny bits. I can't remember the name of the sal now. His pants bollocks. That's going straight out of my head. Anyway, it was using the thin story keeps, so I've got an Andrew Spangler one on this piece as well, which you've seen before, which fills up that space nicely. So that will go away into the pile to be looked at in the future. Yesterday should have been Catching Rays, my largest piece, by Abraham Hunter, but I got sidetracked by my new start and got engrossed in that. Oh, and is it Sherry? You're trying to talk me into the other Abraham Hunter piece charted by Betsy at CrossFit Studios. It's massive. It's over a million stitches as well. With, I think it's wolves howling at the moon. It's gorgeous. I am tempted, but I'm resisting at the moment. Well, I don't know how I'd fit another million piece project into my stitching. Right. That's all the temperature stitching, so let's move on to Andrew the Runner Stitcher's Whip into Shape. That's all that he's doing. So Andrew is training for a marathon. I still haven't worked out which marathon he's training for. All I know is it's the end of August in America somewhere. It was Chicago last year. I don't think it's Chicago again. One day I will go around to asking him, saying, can you just tell me what your marathon is again, please? Anyway, I'm doing Saga for it, so that's my one. And I'm down in this bit here, and I'm using a Silks for You PRO34. The premise behind the sal is every day that Andrew trains, we stitch basically. So if he runs for 3 miles, the basic premise of it is you do 10 stitches for every mile he runs in his training, or if you don't count your stitching, you stitch for the amount of minutes it took him to complete his training. Both perfectly valid. Or you can tweak to suit. I tweaked to suit. So I thought, well, if he's run 3 miles, it's hardly worth picking up a piece for 30 stitches. Yeah, I could leave it to the end of the week and just do a whole load at the end of the week for his week's running. But I decided, no, I want to do 100 stitches a day on a piece. So I do 100 stitches every day he trains, or 100 or a little bit more if I need to run out the thread, or if I'm getting interested in what I'm doing at that point. So that's what I do. And I'm getting great progress. I'm loving this, and this has been such a good idea, and I'm so pleased to be part of it. Let's have a look. So here's Saga. There's a trailing thread. Usually has a trailing thread these days in my pieces. Right. Here's where we are. So I've been working up this pillar to finish that off, and then along in this donkey, bullock, whatever this creature is here. So we've got a wee bit for his nose, we've got his eye in now, and we're just working up. Now one of my subscribers last week very kindly reminded me that these don't play nicely with Pattern Keeper. And I've been meaning to go and check that for weeks. I keep forgetting to. So I did, and I nearly died. Because it is at the page breaks, it has problems with the grey areas, importing the grey areas, or analysing the grey areas when it's importing. Fortunately, after an afternoon with a PDF on my screen, my laptop screen, and this with various needles to count, I've worked out that along the way we're good. We have the right number of stitches per page. We're happy there. Up the way, and I haven't reached a page break up the way, thank goodness. There's been an extra row inserted, so now that I'm aware of that, we're good. But for anybody who's doing this off Pattern Keeper, just be aware and go and check your import and just count along to the page breaks and make sure everything is as it should be, or that you're aware of where the discrepancies might lie. So every page going up the way, there's an extra row being inserted. For going along the way, we're good, because I went along religiously and counted, and I was happy. I thought, if it wasn't, I thought, how am I going to fudge this? Because there's no way I'm going to pick this out. But I now know, so I can't remember the lady's name that told me. Whoever you are, though, thank you so much. I'm glad I found that out now. But anyway, I'm loving this piece. I love the progress. So I'll put the details of that in the box below, just to let you know if you're interested in joining in. If you haven't done so already, and you can join in whenever you like. Andrew will be training through to the end of August, so there's plenty of time. He has a spreadsheet that he has linked in his video explaining this, and that spreadsheet he updates every day showing you his training, and he has rest days. So you're not stitching every day, there are some rest days in there, although they tend to shuffle around a bit depending on, from what I understand, what the weather's like in New York that day. So that was that whip. Reaching behind me for something else. Right, so that was the kind of daily requirements whips. Everything else now is just what I chose to work on, extra to that. And I need a wee drink of water, excuse me. Right. The weather's not been great this week, so no fence painting this week. It is nearly finished. All that's needing done now is a wee bit double coat of second coat at the one end of the fence, and that's neither here nor there. And then that side of the fence needs glittered. So just wait for a decent break in the weather, which will come, I have faith. And then Carl will be out there with his paintbrush and his glitter, and that fence will be transformed into a sparkling wonderland, and we shall see what it looks like. Looking forward to it. I think he is as well, just to get it done and finished. Right. So last week I showed you an ornament I was working on. The method of this is inspired by Catherine at Catherine Stitches, who is a very keen advocate of doing 1/110 stitch and 32 count. I thought, oh, I'll try a piece of that, see how we got on. So I'd started an ornament just to see what I made of it, because I thought, well, if I don't like it, no great loss. But I do like it. So I'm doing this. Let's see if I can find this. Will be a Pattern Keeper. Of course, it's a Pattern Keeper. This is Ornament Butterfly Port Mauve. There you go. I'm down in the bottom here, working up gradually. I'm doing this cross country across the rows. Bring that in a bit. There we go. Lovely wee piece. And I am at progress wise. Where are we? 2,329 stitches out of 49,076, giving me 4.75%. And what I have achieved now is I've completed the first 2 rows of the piece, and here we are. So it's coming on really well, and I'm very pleased how that looks in 32 count. Just move it back and forth just to see if you can get it in the light for you. It's looking alright there. There's that nice crown at the bottom. So this is 32 count, 1/110 using CXC threads. Bring it a wee bit closer. There you go. So I'm happy with how that's turning out. And I'm just going to creep up row by row, doing cross country across the row. Kind of typewriter method. So I'll go along with a thread until that thread runs out, then I'll come back and I'll pick up the next one. The lighting is a bit darker today, I'm not quite sure why that is. Oh well, it is what it is. I think you can still see everything. I'm sure you'll tell me. So, let's just set that there. No, where will I put that? That can go down there. Right. Next piece I worked on last week it wasn't Saga. We've seen Saga, we've done Saga. Saga has been talked about. So I can go back over there. This is a piece by Janine McGowan from The Blue Flower, which I started many, many years ago and was inspired last week to haul this out and give it a bit of love because it hasn't been out for a while. And This is the first piece I ever started on 40 count some years ago now. 40 count linen. I think this is a picture of this plus piece, wren or something like that. I'm using the called for thread palette, which is sitting behind me, hooked on my trolley. Yep, these are they. And here's where we are on it. It's quite a well-known piece. So when I picked it up, I'd done up to here. I hadn't done those legs, and I hadn't done like that, the thorax and the head. So I got those done. I got this bit done, the head done. Got these up here and the wee things at the top. So all that's left there is the wings, and then loads of the wee Quaker doodads all around it in this border. So I enjoyed that this week. It was something different. I haven't worked on that for a while. Bring it in a wee bit more. See more of the detail. There we go. Lots of quiltings, emblems there, kind of Quakerish ideas. Probably why it's called a quilting bee. So I'm very happy with that. I think I made good progress last week. So that's had its fair crack in the sun, as I say. Let me just organise myself a bit here, or there are going to be disasters and naughty words. And we can't have that in Flosstube, can we? So that goes there. That can go back behind me just now. Try and keep things organised. Right, that was that. So, what was next? Quilting, that was Quilting Bee. Oh yes, my new start. My new start. Where did I put my tablet? Oh, there it is. So, the new start. Michelle at Mama Loves You GB had decided that she would like to start a fancy lady, her first ever fancy lady. So she coined the hashtag Virgin Lady Sal, and she was showing what a couple of pieces that she had, one of which was Miss Cherry Blossom, which I already had. I had the chart and I had the beads, so I was chatting to her. I said, oh, I've already got that one. And I've got the beads and that. She says, oh, we could start it together. I thought, oh, I'm up for that, because I'm having to start the Mirabilia Fancy Lady for ages. So I thought, right, I'm on for that. I think I saved a picture of it on my tablet, because my chart that I got off eBay for it came and the picture has disappeared, which is alright. I mean, it's not the picture, the picture doesn't tell me what I'm stitching. Well, no, that's not true, you know what I mean though. It's not the chart. The chart was definitely there and the chart was kosher, so we're all good. Let's have a look. Recents. I thought I had this on my tablet, maybe I don't. Google will be my friend. Bear with me a second as I type this Cherry Blossom Mirabilia picture. Right, tablet, wake up. Do your thing. Ah, here we are. Oh, well, that's not it. Alright, there we go. This Cherry Blossom in all her glory. So, we both started that yesterday. Michelle's at the Wrexham retreat at the moment, and we agreed we would start it on the Saturday of that. Lovely piece, lovely colours. I've started away down at the bottom and that ribbon that's trailing along the bottom, as you will see in a second when I show you my progress. I'm stitching this in 28 count. My favourite when beads are involved. It's a opalescent fabric. I've discovered the joy of opalescent. Where was my... How did I exist without sparkly fabric? Who knew? This is a 28 count fabric of the month from Crafty Kate. Here's the threads. They're all organised. Aren't they lovely? Nice colours. On my favourite floss drops. I got this in my Needle Needs frame. And this is yesterday's stitching. So, here's where we are. We started there. I'm just working out to the edge. So this fabric is slightly narrower than I need by an inch on either side, but I figured the framer, if it ever gets to that stage, will cope. Oh, you can see a wee bit of the sparkle that's going on. And I think it's going to be lovely on this. So that's the middle piece. That's the middle of the piece at the bottom. And so I'm just working out over to this edge here, and then I'll bring it along out to the other edge, and then I'll just start working up. Now, I'm very pleased with my start on that. I enjoyed that yesterday. So we'll keep going on that for a few days this week, I think. Stitch along, start along, tomato, tomato. Make what you will. If anybody wants to join in, please do. Lovely to see what you're doing for it. Obviously, I'm not doing it as my first ever fancy lady. I've done loads of them before. I'm doing this more in support of Michelle as she ventures into this journey in her stitching, which I'm sure she will cope with admirably. You see the work she does anyway. So that was my new start this week, and that brings us to the end of the whips at 35 minutes. Very good. So, what are we doing next? Right, so a finished object next. Stephanie, one of my viewers, has just this week started working on a Mirabilia. She's doing Siren of the Shipwreck. So I saw her post it on not Facebook, the other one, Instagram. And I'd commented saying, oh, that's a lovely piece. I hope you enjoy stitching. I loved stitching when I did mine. And she said, oh, can you show yours again, please? And I thought, oh, I'm up for showing it. I love this piece. And I think it's I shouldn't say it myself, but I will. It's gorgeous. I loved stitching this. Once I got past the skin. I did the skin. This is my first and probably not many more ever experiments of doing skin 1/1. And I did pick a mermaid. There's loads of skin. Why wouldn't I do that? Anyway, here she is. It's stitching the called for Wishled fabric, which actually works quite well. I mean, the Wishled fabric is quite stiff, but it does hold up, especially with all the beads. So that's her there in all her glory, holding her back so you can see everything. I love so much on this. I love the kind of crown of the treasures round her head. I just love that chandelier that she's dangling. Hang on, let me bring that in before you see it. Oh, I can see everything there. The crystals that are hanging. The treasures in her hair. The beads, the glitter, the sparkle. There's just everything that's good in this. I loved stitching this. I remember I started this at my first ever retreat, the first ever Scottish stitching retreat in 2018. When the first time when we went to the Westwood Hotel before we migrated to Castle Carey. It's definitely, I hope you enjoy stitching her. I'm sure you will. Keep showing us the progress. Right, let me just roll that up and get it tossed back up onto the shelf where the finishes live. Right, a couple of fully finishes to show you now. A couple of years ago, Amanda, Alba Stitcher, had suggested that people might like to join her in a monthly piece, a wee monthly Quaker. The word "we" was a bit optimistic, deceptive to say the least. So these were pieces by From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy, and there was a Quaker for every month. So I stuck it out. I did it January to December in 2024, and so I finished them all. And last year, each month, I fully finished them into wee cushions for the following month. So in December 24, I fully finished January 25. January I finished February, and so on and so forth. So I now have a full set of fully finished objects that I put out every month. So I thought I'd show you two of them since we're on the first of the month. It's taken me a long time to get over Quakers since then. I'm only now beginning to think about doing another Quaker piece. Don't know what that piece will be yet, but the thought is now creeping to the forefront of my mind. Anyway, so we just finished May yesterday, the 31st of May. So that was May's Quaker. They're lovely pieces. This was stitched in a piece of 20 count, something or other, oatmeal I think. And it's using the call for over-dyed threads. There's usually about 3 colours in each one, but they're very pretty. A piece of scrap fabric I put onto the back. So that was May. So that'll go onto my window ledge in the sewing room. And this will sit. The next one will sit downstairs. So this is June's. Nice. Oh, I was always in a well stuffed mood that day. Very well padded. So there's a June cushion. I remember stitching this sitting outside in the sunshine, so I remember stitching that bit sitting in the garden. So I had them all on one big piece of fabric and then I chopped them up when I was finished. And that was finished like that. So that'll sit downstairs for the month of June. So I just thought I'd share those with you. Right, so what have we got next? We're doing quite well here. We're cracking on. So we've done the whips, done the siren, and we did the 2 cushions. So next we have some charts to look at. I mentioned some time ago about I have a vast array of charts that are sitting waiting to receive some attention from me. Right, let's get started. So I thought I'd start sharing some of those with you. So the first one up today is a cottage garden sample. Well, the first couple, or 2 or 3 that I've got here are cottage garden, funnily enough. Cottage garden samplings. This I got sometime. This is, I'm sure I saw Kenny Stitches was doing this and I went hunting for that chart. So I thought, I like that, that'll be fun. So fun, I've never even started it yet, but I have the chart. Here we are, Christmas delivery. And I'm sure that'll be like typical carriage house, or cottage garden sample. Is it cottage garden or no, cottage garden? And that it looks nice and quick. No, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stitching involved in there. I don't even have the threads for it yet, so I'll probably just, I don't know if I'm going to, it's called for DMC, so that's fine. So I'll just pull from stash. And I'm sure I'll find a nice piece of fabric to stitch it on. So that's that one. I have a couple more from the Fabulous House series. You'll recall that I'm doing Santa's house just now as part of my temperature stitching. Who's finished that? Sarah. Stitching Diamonds. I'll put Sarah's link below. Oh, that's somebody you must go and watch. She doesn't have many subscribers, but she has a tremendous amount of stitching to share, and her videos are really good. They're very entertaining. So I'll drop a wee link to her channel down below. It's well worth going to watch. So this is Castle from the Fabulous House series. This was number 2. I didn't take them all. I took 1 or 2 that I liked. And I've got the fancy threads that are called for as well, put to the side. And then I have Hobbit House. And this has got fancy threads in it as well. So those are there. For starting at some point. The next little lot are Prairie Schoolers that I'd forgotten I had. So let's have a look. These are quite nice. Mixture of Christmas and Halloween. So we've got the 2007 Santa. These are my favourite cardstock. I love their cardstock ones. I've got the 2006 Santa. I'm sure I've stitched these into cushions for Christmas, and if they are for Christmas, Carol will put them away with the Christmas stuff. So come Christmas, I'll try and haul them upstairs to show you, because I'm sure I've stitched and finished those. Winter Woods, I don't think I've done this one yet. This is 2021. And these are a couple of Halloween ones I fancy doing. Who's There? I love Prairie School. They're such simple designs, but they're very, very effective. And I'm looking at the chart in the back here and thinking that'll be great. There's not that many colours involved either. And then Knock Knock. Great. These will be great fun to do. Right, what else have we got? I need to hang on till I get into this plastic sleeve that these are in. Just make life a bit easier for everybody. I think I might just drop them all back into this. They're all in the one place. Right. So, where are we? Right, this is a new version, not in cardstock. This is Christmas Eve. So that's, some time ago I showed you my Santa collage that I'm thinking that I've made a start on. So I'm thinking this could go along the top or the bottom strip between the Santas that I'm putting in the corners. And that'll be quite nice. This is a limited edition one. It's called Let It Snow. I either picked these up off a D-stash table or I got them off eBay. What else is there? There's Woodland Santas. Oh, these are quite nice as well. These would all make nice cushions at Christmas. There's another Christmas one, Reindeer Roundup. Oh, my Santa's on it down at the bottom there somewhere. Where did I see him? There he is. It's a great shame that the reprints of these are in paper and not cardstock now. First world problems. I still see the chart, I still stitch the chart. So stop whinging, Stuart, stop whinging. This is a monthly piece called September. Sorry, I'm just sidetracked here. I shouldn't know what I'm showing you, what I have showed you. Hang on. Aye, that's alright, we're good. Aye, these are, this is a September one. There we go. It's rather nice, isn't it? I think I bought this at a D-stash. It says, warm September brings the fruit, sportsmen then begin to shoot. And nice wee possible ornaments on the back as well, which are those 4 pieces there, which could be done something like that. So that's some of my Prairie Schooler collection, which I thought you might like to see. Something a wee bit different that I haven't done yet, showing you through my charts. So I'll put them away, put them back into here, just keep them all safe, and I can just put my hand, I'll know where they are then. I generally do know where all my stuff is, but I kind of know the area it's in, which is helpful. One day we will go for a wee walk in the sewing room, and you can see the guddle, which will probably have half of you throwing your hands up in absolute horror, and the other half thinking, oh, I'm not the only one. So that's those. Right, Stitchy Kindness next. And what wonderful Stitchy Kindness. We have a box. By the way, can I just say, we have a box. One of my viewers last week reached out to me. She lives just along the road from me, about 30-40 minutes away by car, saying she had a couple of metres of 25 count fabric. Would I be interested? It's never been one to leave a gift horse in the mouth. I was, oh, I'm all over that. Yes, please, thank you. So she very kindly packaged all this up and sent it on to me. 2 metres of fabric, she said. I opened this box of delights. I'm thinking, aye, well, somebody's got a loose definition of 2 metres, shall we say. So Lorraine, thank you so much for thinking of me and sharing this with me. Very grateful. So let me just open up and share the goodies. Right, I've rolled back a wee bit, hopefully you can still hear me. She sent me some charts that I could either keep for myself or do as giveaways. So it's not something I would probably stitch, so these will be giveaways coming up. So we've got a nice custom craft one, Throw Caution to the Wind. Then there's a couple from Character Creations. Never heard of these people before, but the pictures look nice. So this is a fairy called Anne, and the next one is Stone Magic. So that one, the artwork was by Auranda Sisson, And this one is by Nicole Cadet, Nicole Cadet or Cadet. Charted for cross stitch by Kerry Blackwell. Both of those this one and its predecessor. So there you go. So just watch out for those coming up as giveaways. Now we have the fabric, and wow! So we've got, it's all 25 count. I sat down with my needle and measuring tape and counted it out, so I'm happy I know exactly what I've got. So this is at 1 by 70 of gridded. There's a full coverage piece for me. And then a nice piece of, it's all Zweigart as well, which is good. A nice piece of white. That's kind of like fat quarterish. And then there's a hefty piece of lovely cream. 25 count. I mean, this is massive. This is could only be a metre. Oh, this is DMC. Aye, this is DMC, which is lovely fabric as well. But it's huge. There's a nice colour though. That would do wonderfully for a Teresa Wentzler. Then we've got some printed fabric, which is rather nice. I like that. I'm not sure I'm going to do that yet, but I'll certainly find something. That could be a Bella Filipina of some sort. And there's a wee scrap of that as well. Not a wee scrap, there's another kind of good sized piece. So it's like the TARDIS, this. Some 2 metres. And then there's another metre of white 25 count there. I'm saying a metre, it's huge. So I've got enough 25 count fabric to see me, I think, out of this side of eternity into the next. No, that'll stop me by now. So Lorraine, thank you very much, and thank you for your kind note that accompanied it. I'm very grateful for all of that. Yeah. What else has been happening in the world of Stuart and stitching? So one of my friends came to visit me on Friday. Friday afternoon she arrived, and we had a bit of stitching, a bit of blethering, and she brought a wee, not a birth sampler as such, but a wee kind of birth commemoration piece that she wanted to be turned into a cushion. So we did that. I took a couple of pictures, which if I can work out how, I will insert here. I got her permission to do that, so she was quite happy for that. They will appear somewhere in the video maybe. I have the pictures on my phone, so I just need to work out how to insert them. That's all a bit of a challenge. We shall play and see what happens. You'll either see them or you won't. What else has been going on? We can do the diary, see if there's anything else I have mentioned of excitement. Nothing really. The weather's been very mixed this week. I managed to get out each day for my walks, and that's been good. It's chucking it down at the moment. It's not quite stair rods, but the rain's coming down. We'll see how the day goes. Anyway, I'll be doing my temperature stitching when I'm finished with you. So today it is Fall Fairy for 100 of either half stitch, cross stitch, or some combo thereof. We'll see how that goes. Plans for this week. What have we got on what's on the docket this week? Temperature stitching, of course. Saga, of course. A bit more on Miss Cherry Blossom, I think. And after that, who knows? I'll keep going with Miss Cherry Blossom until I feel the itch for a wee change, which might happen midweek. No idea. We'll see how that goes. I need to get into the sewing room. I quite enjoyed myself on Friday making that wee cushion. So I have designs to make. I want to try and make a project bag book style thing that I have a pattern for myself. So we'll see how that goes. One side is a kind of vinyl fronted pocket. The other side is like is bobbin holders, vinyl bobbin holders stitched in. So we'll have a shot at that, see how we get on. I have a pattern and there is a video accompanying it, so I should be alright. We'll see how it goes. And I think that's it for today. So as always, thank you for spending time with me. It's always good to do these videos. I always enjoy this pause on a Sunday just to review the week that's gone, regroup, ready for the start of the new week, connect with you all again. Who else have I been watching? Oh, Jason Cross Stitches, I'll link him below. Is fairly new to the cross stitch world, but settled in very well and has some lovely pieces. He's also doing saga. I think he's doing it 1/1 and something ridiculous in 40 count like that. It's looking good. All power to his eyes and his needle for that one. Mine's is in 40 count, but I'm doing it over 2. I have respect for my aging eyes. Anyway, I'll link him below. It's good to go and watch him. So that's him, and Stitching in Diamonds was the other one, Sarah, who's based in London. Jason is in America. So link both of those below. Go and give them a watch and maybe subscribe to them. They're worth it. Their pieces are lovely to see. The stitching is good. The banter is good. So that's those. I think that's everything now. I was starting to say goodbye and I got sidetracked. One of my many little diversions. So we'll say goodbye now. As always, please comment below. Let me know what you're working on, what's going on, any plans you want to share. It's always good. Let me know what you think of the content of my video. Always enjoy doing them, as does my Carl. It's always, when we sit down at lunch, okay, what's the gossip? So, so please do comment. If you want to get in touch with me over Instagram and email, those links are down below for you. Stuart and Stitches and stuartandstitches@gmail.com. I suddenly noticed yesterday there was a couple of messages on my Instagram that I haven't responded to yet. They were hidden away somewhere in the inner depths of Instagram, so I shall get back to the correspondence on those. And I think that's it. As always, if you're interested in the bag from me at all, please do get in touch. I had a couple of inquiries from over the pond, but the postage is rather prohibitive to get you over there. I hate to say this, but I don't think it's worth the bag for the postage. I think my bags are worth everything, but nonetheless, one has to be sensible on this. You don't want your postage being about half the price or more of the bag, do you? However, but thank you for the inquiry. It is much appreciated. And I think that's everything now. Yes, that's it. So I'll be back next Sunday. Have a good week of stitching. Happy stitching. Hope the weather's good for you wherever you are. If you're down under and you're heading into winter, I shall hope for a frosty, cold, crisp winter for you, as opposed to damp, wet, cold, which I hate. For us up here, no idea what's coming up this week. Mixed again. We're into our unsettled weather. Up here in the central belt, this is the gala month in June, so all the small towns around where I live are having their galas over the coming Saturdays. Our one is in 3 weeks' time, so maybe the weather will pick up. But they start in Bathgate next Saturday, so well, fingers crossed for those people there that the weather picks up for that. Yep, that's the lot. So, bye.